So, when you think about AI, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's a chatbot, right? You type a question, it spits back an answer. It's simple, it's useful. But what if that whole idea is already becoming a thing of the past? What if the AI we know is evolving into something else? Something that doesn't just answer us, but actually works alongside us?
Okay, just picture this for a second. What if you had an AI that was always on, just humming in the background, ready to go, 24/7? And what if that AI could literally see your screen? It knows exactly what you're pointing at without you having to describe a single thing. And to top it off, what if it had a memory so massive it could hold an entire complex project in its head all at once? Well, that's not some far-off future. That's what we're talking about today.
And look, this isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. It's being powered by three, frankly, huge breakthroughs that are completely changing the game. We are literally witnessing the evolution from a simple chatbot into what we now call an AI agent.
So let's get right into it. What exactly is an AI agent? The easiest way to think about it is like this. A chatbot is a tool you talk to. An AI agent, on the other hand, is a partner you work with. It's a really subtle shift in language, but it makes all the difference in the world. Think about it. A chatbot is totally passive. It just sits there and waits for you to type something. And the second you close that tab, poof, it forgets everything. An AI agent is basically the complete opposite. It's active, it can run continuously, and here's the kicker, it's perceptive. It can understand the world through a lot more than just text.
Okay, so let's dig into the first big shift that's making this happen, turning AI into an always-on platform. And the perfect example of this is a brand new project coming out of Anthropic called Conway.
Anthropic isn't just trying to build a better chat window. No, they are thinking way bigger. They're building what is essentially an entire operating system for an AI. They call it a Conway instance, and it's a persistent place where an agent can live. It doesn't just vanish when you're done. It stays active, always ready to get to work. Now, this is where things get really interesting. A Conway agent doesn't need a person to tell it to get started. Nope. It can be triggered by events happening out in the real world. I mean, just imagine an agent that automatically starts processing an order the very instant a sale happens on your website. No human needed in the loop at all. So how does that even work? Well, it's actually pretty clever. An external service, say you're a sales platform, sends a tiny digital signal, it's called a webhook, to a special web address. Conway gets that signal and boom, the agent instantly wakes up and does its thing. This is a perfect illustration of that shift from a passive tool to an active, autonomous coworker. And to make this whole thing even more powerful, Anthropic is building an entire ecosystem around it. Developers can build and share their own custom tools as simple zip files. What this does is transform their AI model, Claude, from just a product you talk to into a full-blown platform, kind of like an app store for AI that anyone can build on. Okay, so we have an agent that's always on. That's huge. But what good is that if it's basically blind to our messy, visual, digital world? Well, that brings us to the second massive shift, giving AI the gift of sight. And a new model from Z.ai AI is right at the cutting edge of this.
We have all been there, right? You see a bug or a little design flaw on your screen, and the most natural thing in the world is to just point and say, that thing right there is wrong. The problem is you can't point at a screen for a traditional AI. You have to write out this whole long, painful description of the problem.
Well, that is all changing. That wall between how we see the world and how AI understands it, it's finally starting to crumble. These new AI models are getting a true sense of sight for our digital lives.
And leading this charge is Z.ai's GLM-5V Turbo. Now, this isn't just some image recognition tool that's been bolted onto a language model. No, it was built from the ground up to be truly multimodal. And that just means it can understand a user interface, a screenshot, or even a video just as fluently as it understands Python code.
The jump in efficiency here is just staggering. In the old workflow, right, you'd take a screenshot, then you have to sit there and type out a detailed bug report. The AI would then analyze your text. With this new model, you just take the screenshot. That's it. The AI analyzes the image directly and suggests a fix. That whole middle step of writing everything out, it's just gone. So our agent is always on, and now it can see. But to tackle truly complicated, messy, real-world tasks, it needs one more crucial piece, a massive memory. And this brings us to our final shift, and a really cool project from Alibaba called Qwen that's giving us this last piece of the puzzle.
Look, an agent working on a big project has to remember everything. All the past conversations, all the different files, the tools it's used, the ultimate goal. Without a really powerful memory, it just gets lost.
And when we talk about AI memory, what we're really talking about is its context window. And that window just got blown wide open.
1 million. Let that sink in. 1 million tokens. That is the default context window for Alibaba's new Qwen model. That number is just wild. To put that into perspective, that's enough memory to hold the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy at once.
I think the metaphor here is just perfect. Most AI models you use today, their memory is like a single sticky note. It can remember the last few things you talked about, and that's pretty much it. A 1 million token window, though, that's like giving the AI an entire library to work with. It never, ever loses the plot.
So what does this incredible memory actually unlock? Well, it enables something Alibaba calls repository-level engineering. And that's just a fancy way of saying the agent can understand and work across an entire software project with all its thousands of interconnected files, not just tinker with one little file at a time. It can finally see the big picture.
So, we've looked at 3 incredibly powerful and, on the surface, maybe separate breakthroughs. But the real magic, the part that should get you really excited, is what happens when you put them all together. That's when we can start to see the true future of AI taking shape.
So let's just recap these 3 pillars one more time. First, you have persistent, always-on platforms that let agents act autonomously. Second, you give those agents eyes with visual perception. And third, you give them a brain that can handle massive complexity with project-level scale and memory.
And this right here, this is the most important thing to take away from all this. When you combine these 3 innovations, you don't just get a slightly better chatbot. No way. You get something fundamentally new. You get a persistent, perceptive, and powerful AI coworker that can operate on a scale we've just never seen before.
Which leads us to the big and maybe a little provocative final question. As these agents get more and more capable, as they're able to see our screens, understand what we want, and use tools for us, are we even going to need individual apps anymore? Or will we just turn to our agent and tell it what we want to accomplish? That's the future we are all stepping into.